おはようございます。本日はお忙しい中、お越しいただきありがとうございます。私はワーカード CEO のビジェイ・チャラです。カリフォルニアのパロアルトに住んでいます。今回は紅葉の季節に来られてとても嬉しいです。日本は私にとって特別なところです。私の妻は熊本の出身です。これからすみませんが、英語で話します。Thank you. So welcome to our first Automate conference in Tokyo. We have a really great event planned for you for you to connect with each other, learn, and be inspired. But to start with, from all of us at Workato, thank you. To all our customers, partners, and everyone that's here, thank you for being part of this community, and thank you for your trust. And we want to thank all of the sponsors and the speakers and the attendees today for making this first automated work in Tokyo a success. So this is a special year for us. Workato is celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year. And everything that we have done and where we are has been inspired by you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. So we started with our first customer in 2014, and from that foundation, we've grown to thousands of customers across every part of the world, from Fortune 500 companies to global brands, including in Asia Pacific and Japan region. And we have connected and empowered over 10 million employees in these companies. Together, we have built the industry's most robust and the most comprehensive set of application connectors. We have, this library of connectors has grown by almost 40 times in the last 5 years. And we're going to be reaching 10,000 application connectors soon. On top of these connectors, you all have moved at breathtaking speed. Every minute on Workato, a new recipe is created and deployed. In the last 5 years alone, we have 5 million recipes that have been created on Workato. And the impact of these recipes is tremendous. These recipes have automated over 650 billion tasks. And a single task is like automating data entry into an application or an API call. It saves 5 minutes of an employee's time somewhere. So every hour you have spent automating on Workato, on average, saves 194 days of manual work. That is like a 5,000 times return of investment on the time you're spending automating on Workato. So all of this has been possible, especially through the help of our partners. Over 60% of our business and what we have done is through and with the help of partners. So I want to thank you for being part of this journey with us. And it's the same story here in Japan. We started in Japan in 2017 with our first customer. We have almost 100 customers here and about 20 partners. There's so many of them, so many of you here today with booths and speaking sessions. I would encourage you to go meet with them and see what they've been doing. So the last 10 years have been amazing. But when I talk to customers around the world, including in Japan, things are changing fast, and we are seeing some major challenges and opportunities ahead. So there are two major trends that we see that I think are going to be especially relevant in Japan in the coming years. So I want to talk about that. The first trend is what I call enterprise orchestration, but really at the root of that is what I call the productivity paradox. We've never had more applications and technologies at our disposal. At the same time, we've never been more disconnected. So we have become, it has been hard for us to respond to changes, and we become, sort of stuck and become unresponsive. And being responsive to changes in your business is not just an advantage, it's the difference between companies that become leaders and the companies that get left behind. Now, digital transformation is about becoming more responsive, yet 88% of the companies say that their digital transformation initiatives have failed. About half the CEOs say that they're concerned about their companies being around in the next 10 years, and we are an optimistic group of people. So, simply put, either we become responsive or we become redundant. So, why do we have this issue? The issue lies in just the huge amount of this fragmented applications and technology, and also the emergence of a whole bunch of fragmented integration technologies. So let me explain what I mean by that. So when you look at across our companies, we have applications and systems that are automating various things across different parts of our company, from HR, finance, IT, every part of the company. But they need to work with each other. And to do that, there's a set of integration technologies that have emerged that are very fragmented. So first, if you talk to your data people, they will say, we'll need a data integration tools like ETL, ELT, customer data management, customer data hub. If you talk to your applications people, they would want an application integration tool like an iPaaS or API management for app-to-app integration or API-led integration. And if you talk to the people that are responsible for business processes in your company, they would be pointing to tools like BPM and RPA to integrate from a process point of view. And then there's been a set of tools that have emerged for chatbots and low-code apps to build a unified user experience on the top of this mess. And what you have is, with all of these different types of integration ideologies and approaches, we have, it has resulted in silos of data, broken processes, and broken experiences. So what does this do? I'll just use a simple example. When a new customer joins our company, and there's a problem with how their experience and what how we're serving them, is it a data problem, or is it a problem for getting that customer information from a CRM like Salesforce and putting it in an ERP like SAP? Is it a order processing workflow or a business process problem, or is it a customer onboarding and experience problem? It's hard to know where the problem is, and it's harder to fix. So what we end up with is a very rigid environment that feels risky to change. We've become very unresponsive as a result. So when you look at this, all of these fragmented types of integration, ideologies, that each of them individually made sense, collectively have created a difficult situation for us. So we believe the answer to this fragmentation is unification, and bringing all of these capabilities into a single cohesive environment, a single platform for integrating from a data, applications, business process, and experience perspective. So such a cohesive platform can give you that responsiveness. And the reason for that, it gives you a single place for you to create your integrations, a single place for you to monitor them, a single place for you to troubleshoot and secure and govern them. So we call this unified approach the power of one. And let's talk about what we mean by that. When you're able to integrate everything in your company and automate any workflow, we're going beyond integration and automation. We're going to what we call enterprise orchestration. And it is this enterprise orchestration that delivers the power of one. And the power of one is important for being responsiveness. And the power of one is not an incremental power. It's an amazing and exponential power. Let me explain what I mean by that exponential power from like a familiar example in our personal lives. About 20 years ago, we carried a lot of these amazing devices, cameras, gaming, GPS, music, phones, all of this in a pocket. And when iPhone came along in 2007, a lot of these devices became obsolete. iPhone reimagined all of these capabilities and put them in a single device with a single operating system, and it has helped us. It is not doing everything for everybody. We still have specialized cameras, but 97% of our pictures are today taken on smartphones, and we do 1,000 times as much shares, as we used to do before. So when you unify and simplify things in this way, it unlocks exponential productivity. And this is what we try to do with Workato. The enterprise platform space has been complex and difficult for a long time, and it has been waiting for its own iPhone moment. So our approach has been to bring to being the best at some of the core capabilities like integration, automation, and connectivity, and being great at everything else. And it's like Ohtani, right? He's like the Bulls' best pitcher and the best hitter, but he's also great at fielding and base running, and he's got a cute dog. So when you put all of that in a single package, I think it's an amazing thing. So the journey that Workato has been on is to unify, simplify, and bring all of these capabilities into a single modern platform. So you have data integration, application integration, API management, workflows, chatbots, all of this in a single platform. And so what this gives you is what we call speed, power, and scale. Speed because you have a single design time environment for like what we call Workato recipes to create all these different types of patterns. So you don't have 6 different skill sets. And it's a platform that's always on and can scale on demand and has support extreme transaction volumes. And more importantly, it can make enterprise integration and orchestration a team sport. You don't have to be dependent on just a few technical people. You can bring this capability to the broader market. So this is what we set out to do. So one of the things I want to point out is in any of your companies today, you already have an existing set of tools and technologies. You've already been on this integration journey in the last 10, 20 years. So the idea behind enterprise orchestration is not to go replace them. The idea is to harmonize with what you already have and fill in the gaps, clear your backlogs, and have a cohesive strategy going forward for simplifying and unifying your strategy. So this is the enterprise orchestration journey. Think of enterprise orchestration as a journey. It's at a company called Atlassian. And this is the journey at another company here. It's a large retailer here. So it starts with where you are and gives you a path forward for simplifying, getting faster, getting more modern. So I'll finish with this first trend. The idea here is that we need to become more responsive. We need to unify, simplify, and go fast. So you want to go from this fragmented environment to a unified environment. And that's what enterprise orchestration does. Now, this brings me to the second big trend I wanted to talk about. We all know the AI we are in the beginning of this era of AI that promises transformative change. Now, to apply AI, you cannot really do that in a very fragmented, messy environment. Garbage in, garbage out. For when you apply for AI, it's garbage in, garbage out. So So let's just talk about this next big trend and what that means. So AI promises to transform our personal and professional lives. It promises us to take our responsiveness to a whole another level. There's announcements every day, especially in the US now, about new AI platforms and agentic, or what are called agents, AI agents, are emerging. And there's a lot of hype, but underneath that hype, there is a lot of potential for these AI agents, which are essentially domain experts, to help us really do our best work in our companies. Now, I think this potential and opportunity is greater in no place else than in Japan. Japan is facing a demographic changes and shrinking workforce. It's an opportunity to embrace AI and leapfrog and become leaders. AI gives us that opportunity. So the companies that are going to be on this agentic journey or AI journey are going to be a whole lot more responsive, and they're going to really become the leaders of the future. And the companies that are not are going to struggle. So let me just go one level down to talk about so why this happens. So we have there's AI agents that can be there in every part of your company, from customer success, from IT, sales, finance, every part of your company. Let's see how they work. Let's look at the customer success area. Today, when there's a support ticket coming in from a customer, there's a lot of work that you would do to collect information from different applications and start taking actions in different applications. And that whole process to resolve a trouble ticket can take a few days. Now, with AI, it can automatically collect all of this information, create a plan, and take actions for you, with the help of a human agent, approving and making sure it's okay. And this process can take just 15 minutes, right? It can take a few minutes versus a few days. So what does this mean, right? How does this show up in our companies? So first of all, we can do a lot of the work much more efficiently and effectively. You can handle all of these tickets in a much shorter amount of time, so an agent can do a lot more work. But with the help of an AI assistant, we can do a whole lot more than we ever could before. Resolving trouble tickets is like playing defense. But now with agents, you can go play some offense. You can go look at signals. You can look at how the customer is using a product. What is changing. You can look at customer satisfaction surveys. You can look at maybe it's a device or a kiosk or something that is broken somewhere. It can detect all of these signals and take smarter actions before the customer even files a trouble ticket. So what you have with agents is that not only can you do more things, but you can do better things, and you can start playing offense, and it is more it's more rewarding and more fun in terms of what we can do. So these agents don't exist just in customer support. They exist in every part of our company, from finance, HR, IT, every part of the company. And the impact collectively that these agents can have is massive. Companies can do a whole lot more and just be a lot more efficient in the process. So what is an agent? An agent has got the smarts to know what to do, which AI can give. AI is very good at creating plans, and its enterprise orchestration to be able to connect to all of your systems, get all of the context, and take actions. That's what an agent does in the and an AI needs context to take action. So when it is trained on the best domain expertise, for example, for how to do great customer support, but you need real-time context about that customer across all of your systems in order to make the right decision. So context is important, and the ability to take actions across all of your systems is very important. We will have a session. We'll have sessions later today where we will go into the details of these agents and how they work and how they come together. But to make all of this possible, we started 10 years ago to build this enterprise integration automation platform that we call enterprise orchestration. And now, for the first time, we're introducing a new platform called Workato Agentic. And the agentic platform helps you build agents for every part of your company. Workato delivers some agents. You can build your own. Partners can build agents. And we call the Workato's agents, we call them genies. We're going to have sessions today to get into the details of how these genies work and how and why the connectivity and integration and how that comes together to make these agents actually work. So we talked about two things, right, today. One is we need to unify and simplify and bring together all of your applications' data and workflows in one place. You need to have a great foundation in order to be responsive, even without AI. Now, with AI, having that cohesive foundation becomes even more essential. And it enables what we are calling the agentic economy. And that's the journey that we've been on at Workato together with you. And we are excited to introduce this agentic platform. There will be a number of sessions today where we'll be getting into the details of that. So last year, I published a book at the dawn of this new era of AI. And the reason I wrote this book is, when new technologies come up, it's not those technologies by themselves that will create change and deliver on this promise. It's about our mindset, how we think about these things. If we think about these technologies as like point solutions that you are going to apply to solve the same problems, you will become a little bit efficient, but you're not really going to change the game. I felt it was really important for us to step back and look at how should we be thinking about these technologies. So this book we created it for it to be a blueprint for IT leaders and business leaders to be able to adopt AI and drive significant outcomes. Now today, we are excited to launch the Japanese version of this book. And the Japanese version of this book is out there. You can pick up a copy. It has a number of really exciting stories, including how some of the large companies in Japan are embracing this mindset, what we call the new automation mindset. So we'll talk about these mindsets, but essentially this mindset, it's just to go back a little bit. There are three parts to this mindset. One is thinking about the bigger picture, which we call process mindset. Don't think about single tasks, think about the bigger picture. The second is about embracing change. And the third is about involving everybody in your company, which we call the scale mindset. So there's some great stories in the book from customers in Japan. And we're very excited to have two of them. We're very honored to have the CIOs of these great companies to discuss how they're applying this kind of mindset in their companies. So I'd love to welcome Funyu-san, the CIO of Yokogawa Electric, and Shintani-san, the CIO of Mercari. So, yeah. Oh, yes, we got to. Okay. English again. Yeah. So, thank you both for joining me here today. But first, I wanted to just have you introduce yourself. So, Funyu-san, I think you had you worked at iconic companies like Yokogawa Electric, and before that at Sony. And I've always enjoyed talking to you about your vision and where you're going. Can you introduce yourself a little bit for the team?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. じゃあ日本語ですよね。横川電機の国生と申します。横川電機の方で今グローバル IT のオペレーションの責任者とあとDX ですね、デジタルトランスフォーメーションの推進をやっております。で先ほどちょっと道大工の話がありましたように私大学卒業してから NTT データという会社にいまして、その後ソフトバンクですね。でその後ソニーにいまして、ずっと IT の方の利用側とプロバイダー側ですね。それを経験して6年前に横川電機に入社させていただきまして、今 CIO をやっていると、こういったようなバックグラウンドになっています。で今かなりですね、DX も結構進めておりまして、いろいろと若戸さんのサポートもいただいてますけれども、いろいろと DX 当然成功している部分もありますし、失敗している部分もありますので、今日いろいろとディスカッションさせていただければと思います。よろしくお願いします。
Yeah, thank you, Funyu-san. So, Shintani-san, you've been at Mercari for a year, and you were at Rakuten for like 10 years before that, including half of the time in Silicon Valley. Can you tell us more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. 皆さんはじめまして、私は株式会社メルカリの新谷と申します。現在はですね、メルカリで執行役員 CIO として、コーポレート IT 全般と社内業務の DX 推進を担当しております。で今 BJ さんがおっしゃっていただいた通り、メルカリに入る前には楽天に11年おりまして、そのうち5年間アメリカにおりました。でアメリカにいる時にワーカートを知ったというところです。で当時ですね、従業員のオフボーディングでもう本当にさまざまな問題があって、このオフボーディングの、オフボーディングってターミネーションのプロセスですね、これをエンドトゥエンドで自動化しなければちょっとこれは大きな問題だというすごい強い問題意識がありまして、でその時に周りの IT アーキテクト数名に話を聞いたところ、どういうツールを入れたらいいかと聞いたところ、ワーカートを紹介してもらったというのがきっかけです。で私はPOC をした段階で日本に帰国しまして、私の後任の女性が非常に優秀で、パパッとこうインプリしてくれたんですけれども、それでエンドトゥエンドでオフボーディングのプロセスを自動化することができたと。でこれすごいいいということで、日本に楽天の本社日本の方に取り込もうと思ったところで、ちょっと私が辞めてしまったので現在どうなっているかわからないんですけれども、楽天から今日もいらっしゃっているので、ちょっと後でどうなったか聞いてみようと思います。でメルカリはもう私が入社した時にワーカート非常になんていうか広範囲で使われていて、例えば IT 業務の自動化ですとか、コーポレートシステムの連携というかオーケストレーションですね、で重要なプラットフォームになってます。また、弊社では市民開発を拡大していこうというふうに考えておりまして、その部分においても重要な役割を担っているというところです。本日はよろしくお願いします。
No, thank you. Thank you both for being here. So now let's talk about the three mindsets. Let's start with the process mindset. It's a funny name, but what it refers to is to think about the bigger picture and think about the long term. Because some of the things you're doing today, you may not need to do them, so optimizing them doesn't make sense. So you have to really think about the bigger picture. And Shintani-san, Mercari has revolutionized retail in Japan, and you have this mission to empower and inspire people to do more. What are when you look at the bigger picture at Mercari, what are some of the things that are top of mind for you?
Sure. Thank you. ですね、メルカリは確かにフリマアプリをはじめとしてさまざまなサービスを生み出して急成長を遂げた企業です。ただですね、メルカリも企業規模が大きくなり、組織が成熟化していく中で実はスピードが落ちてきているという経営課題があります。でこのままでは今BJ さんが紹介していただいたあらゆる価値を循環させあらゆる人の可能性を広げるという、弊社のグループミッションこれを達成できないという強い危機感を今持ってます。でそこでですね山田 CEO の大号令のもとバックトゥスタートアップというテーマを掲げて今全社一丸となってスピード改革に取り組んでいるところです。でこのバックトゥスタートアップということを、コーポレート IT として、どう捉えるべきかというのを考えたときに私はいわゆる創業間もないスタートアップのように、いわゆるアドホックにさまざまな IT サービスをさみだれ式に展開していくということではないと思ってます。むしろ、エンドトゥエンドで ITSM、つまりサービスリクエストからインシデント管理、構成管理、問題管理などまで ITIL で定義されているプラクティスがですね一気通貫して統合化されている IT サービスを構築し IT のそのプロセスとシステムを構築しその上でIT 業務が最大限に余すことなく自動化されている状況、そして収集されたデータに基づいて全体最適化および継続的なサービス改善ができるようなそういったロバストな IT 環境を整えていくべきだというふうに考えています。またIT 基盤のアーキテクチャとしてはよりスケーラブルで堅牢なものに再構築していく必要があるというふうに考えています。そうしないとですね、スピード改革の結果、メルカリが再び急成長カーブに入ろうとしたときに、我々コーポレート IT が足手まといになりかねないからです。実は私がメルカリに入社した1年ちょっと前は、まさにその創業間もないスタートアップの面影のあるプロセスとオペレーション、そしてアーキテクチャでした。で、今メルカリは従業員が2000名規模の企業ですのでまだ間に合うと思うんですがこれが5000名を超えるような規模になった時にはもう手遅れというかこういった礎の部分をそこから再構築するというのは極めて難しいと考えています。ですので、今が最後のチャンスと思ってですね、そういう危機感を持ってエンドトゥエンドの ITSM の構築そして組織の急拡大に耐えうる IT 基盤を再構築しようと、今進めているところです。
Yeah, I love that sense of urgency to going back to becoming like a startup and go fast. It's exciting to be watching that from as a partner. So, Funyo-san, Yokogawa Electric is an iconic company with over 100 years of history. But in the last few years, you've been taking on a pretty ambitious transformation program. What are some of the big ideas and thinking behind that?
Okay, thank you very much for your inquiry. そうですね、横浜電機っていう会社はなかなかちょっと B2B 製造業ですので多分なかなかこの参加者の中でもご存知の方少ないと思うんですが横浜電機自体は今プラントとか工場のですね制御システム、それを提供する会社になっています。それなので、B2B の製造業っていうポジショニングがあってまして今だいたい資本金400億円ぐらいですかね。で、売上がだいたい5400億円。で利益がですね営業利益が大体700億から800億くらいですね。で社員がですね1万7000人ぐらい、こういった会社でございます。で特徴的なのがかなりですねビジネスはグローバル化をしてまして8割が海外なんですね。で売上の2割が日本で8割が海外ということとあとはコンペティターがほぼ海外の企業です。アメリカとかヨーロッパですね企業になってましてなので基本的にアメリカとヨーロッパの企業ってすごいデジタル化をどんどん進めていると。で当然彼らもですね、データを統合してどんどん AI を使って生産性を上げていると、こういったところに直面してじゃあ我々はそのグローバルコンペティションでどう戦っていくかといったところでやっぱり我々もですねそういったところに追いついていかないと。 なかなか競争に勝てないということで、6年前にまず入社した時にまずやっぱりどうしてもシステムがバラバラだったと。っていうことでこのバラバラのシステムを統合してきました。それはアプリケーション、データ、あとインフラストラクチャーですね、セキュリティ。で今度はその後ですね、ビジネスプロセスの標準化をかけて、ある意味プロセスをシンプリファイ化した上で、グローバルプラットフォームですね、先ほどご紹介があったように、例えばセールスフォースとかワークデーとか、SAP とかそういったような、メジャーな ERP ですかね、そういったパッケージを導入してきて、一応そのグローバルに、コンピューターもそういったものを使ってますんで、戦える基盤を作った上でデータを統合しているという過程です。それによってやっぱり一番キーになってくるのはどうやってグローバル競争に変わっていくかとっていうところですので、そういったような基盤を使ってですね、グローバル競争にある程度ですね、変わっていくような環境を整備していくと、こういったことを今対応しています。はい。
Yeah, that's amazing. I knew Yokogawa Electric is a global company, but I did not realize it's 80%
Yes.
outside Japan. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So we talk about the concept of growth mindset. I think which you're just actually getting to. The concept of growth mindset is about embracing change deeply. It's not just adapting, right? When a new technology comes, we all adapt, but we should not be afraid to break something so that we can build better things. That's the idea behind growth mindset. And I think you are taking this type of an approach at such a company with this type of history, where you're bringing in global ideas and you're thinking about processes globally, and you have this initiative called One Yokogawa to bring it all together. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're bringing this type of change in thinking to a company that's got this type of history?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. そうですね、弊社の場合先ほどご紹介した非常にビジネスがグローバル化をしているということで、実はですね先ほど売上の8割が海外という話をしました。で社員もですね実は海外の多いんですね。大体日本の社員が6000人くらいで海外1万2000人くらいと、1000人から1万だから海外のメンバーが多いと、こういった状況になっています。でそうなってくるとですねでコンペティターも欧米系の企業ということになってますので、日本の企業でありながらほぼその環境はもうグローバル化してしまっていると、こういう状況なんですね。それもあってIT については当然日本の社員と海外の社員といますけれども、それをワンチームですね、グローバルワンチームにして、でそれで今グローバル IT を運営しています。でそのポイントはですねやはり、日本の仕事のスタイルと海外の仕事のスタイルが違うんですよね。何が違うかって一番違うスピードなんですね。つまり日本の仕事のスタイルっていうのはまずクオリティファーストです。これは私の会社も我々の会社も製造業なので、まずクオリティファーストに行きます。そうするとクオリティが一番重要なので、当然スピードが落ちるんですよね。デリバリーが落ちると、スピードが。で海外の場合はスピードファーストですよね。日本以外の感覚っていうのは。で、クオリティは確かに日本より若干劣るというところがあるんですけども、やっぱりスピードが速いのと、あとそのフレケンシーですね。このインプルメントフレケンシー、つまり変更っていうかなんですかね、インプルメントのサイクルが速い。それによってクオリティを上げていくっていうこういうような仕事のスタイルです。でこれをうまくバランスさせるっていうのは非常に重要かなと思ってまして、つまりこれからクオリティとスピードを両立させるということになってくると、日本の仕事のスタイルとあとは海外ですね、特にインドとかはすごいんですけども、海外の仕事のスタイルをうまくコンバインしていく。でこれによって、ある意味その両立をさせていくっていうことでグローバルワンチームを作ってですね、ある意味ちょっとカルチャーディファレンスがありますので、非常にいろいろと議論があるんですけども、それでそういった環境を作ってですね、で日本人もですね海外のスタイルを勉強して、逆にある意味外国の方もですね日本のカルチャーを勉強していただくと、ちょっと日本語を勉強したりとか、そういった形で今運営をしております。はい。
Yeah, it's fascinating, right? I think being able to bring together this speed and quality together, and the tension I feel in my home,
yes,
right?
Yes,
like
yes, right.
it's the quality versus speed. So So I think one of the things that when we look at the amount of change going on in technology in our business and competitive, global, the scale of speed is huge. And to meet that type of speed, one of the things that we talked about in the book quite a lot is the scale mindset, which is making this transformation a team sport, bring everybody to the table. And I think Shintani-san, you have this incredible vision to empower your business teams, empower everyone, and unleash the potential at Mercari, which is really what the scale mindset is about. Can you tell us about how you're approaching that?
Sure. So, ですね、先ほども軽く触れさせていただいた通り、弊社では、あらゆる価値を循環させ、あらゆる人の可能性を広げるということをグループミッションとして掲げています。で、このグループミッションを実現するのはメルカリで働く人々であり、彼ら彼女たちの可能性を最大限に広げられるかどうかが、メルカリのミッション達成の鍵を握っていると考えています。で、そしてですね、あらゆる業務がテクノロジーと密接につながっている、我々のようなインターネット企業においてはやはり従業員一人一人が自らテクノロジーを活用して課題解決を行っていく、そのような環境を整えていくことが、メルカリで働く人々の可能性を最大限に広げることにつながると考えまして、市民開発を推進することが、戦略上極めて重要であると、考えた次第です。そのため弊社では、IT 部門だけではなく業務部門の従業員も、自ら IT ツールやワークフローを開発しまして、ビジネスニーズに素早く応えられるように、ワーカートのようなノーコードローコードツールの導入を行っています。ちなみに2022年にガートナーからビジネステクノロジストの台頭というレポートが出てまして、でその中にはですね、ビジネステクノロジスト、つまり市民開発者を効果的にサポートする組織は DX を加速できる可能性が 2.6 倍高まるということが言われています。で私はまさにこのような世界観を目指すべきだというふうに思っていて、ですので、この市民開発というのは我々インターネット企業だけでなく、多くの企業にとって重要なアジェンダだと思っています。ただですね、やはり市民開発とシャドウ IT というのは紙一重な部分がありますので、我々も試行錯誤をしながら前に進んでいる段階です。特に各個人が好き勝手に開発を行ってしまいますと、セキュリティインシデントを含むさまざまなトラブルに発展しかねませんので、そこはワークアウトのガードレールのようなフレームワークを活用して、ガバナンスが必要な部分は IT 部門がしっかりと統制を取っていくと、それを強く意識して体制とプロセスを構築してきているところです。いずれにしても、よく言われている話ではありますが、IT の民主化に背を向けた企業にさらなる成長はないと、そういうふうに信じて、引き続きチャレンジをしていきたいと思っています。
Yeah. Well, thank you, Shintani-san. I think it's we see that movement to empower and go faster. I think it's connected to speed as well in some ways. So that's I think it's definitely the trend of the future. Now to wrap up this discussion, I want to talk about we are at the early innings of this era of AI, and I think the need to think bigger and longer term and be able embracing change deeply and thinking about scale is never been greater, right? How has this emergence of generative AI sort of impacted your strategy? How are you thinking about it? How does it affect what we just talked about in terms of this mindset? Punyo-san, let me start with you.
そうですね。AI の適用に関してなんですけども、先ほどこれまでですね、データの統合とかアプリケーションの統合になってきたということで、AI 今あれですね、人に優しい会社っていうのが結構ありますよね。社に優しい会社って結構いろいろなところで歌われてるんですけど、これからは AI に優しい会社っていうのが結構重要なキーワードになってくると思うんですね。これどういうことかっていうと、弊社も今中長期計画で今先ほどご紹介したように FI24、今年度に5400億円なんですけども、FI30 ですね、これから6年後に1兆円と いうふうなことを言ってます。つまりかなり成長させるということなんですね。その時に今の生産性ですと当然人も2倍にしなきゃいけないですね。売上高が2倍ということは人も2倍にしなきゃいけない。だけどその生産性をどう上げるかによって当然成長していくと。でも人はやっぱりなかなか今採用難しいのでそんな簡単に2倍にはできない今状況になってますよね。あと日本では特に人が減っていくということですね取れないと。そうなってくると AI でどうやって使ってですねそこを補っていくかと、こういった議論になってくるわけですね。なので、当然人の生産性を上げていくと。でそれとじゃあ AI 社員ですね。AI 社員、これをですね、先ほどちょっとBJ さんのスライドもありましたけどもこの、社員とですねAI エージェントこれはコンビネーションをかけて、これが仕事をするとですね、ある意味生産2倍になるわけですね。そういった形で生産性をですね、2倍3倍していくと、こういったことが非常に重要になってくるかと思っています。それもあってですね今弊社の方でも今までデータ統合とかやってきてでやっぱり AI に優しいっていうと組織がシンプルになっていることですね。であとはプロセスがシンプルになっていること、あとデータがシンプルになっていること、あとは例えばシステムがシンプルになっていること、こういうシンプリファイをしないとなかなか AI に優しくなれないと思っています。なのでこの AI に優しい会社をするためにはそういったAI 社員ですねこれからも増やしていかなきゃいけないと思うんですけどもそのためにはいろんな準備が必要でそういったところを準備しながらですね対応していくということになります。で弊社もちょっとワークアウトはかなり活用させておりまして、特にですねこのいろんなシステムのオーケストレーションですねとか API マネジメントインターフェースのところに結構使ってるんですけども、このあたりはいろんなアプリケーションですねこれを統合して最終的にはビジネスプロセスこれを自動化していくと、それを AI で自動化することによって当然生産性を上げるということになるんですけども、そういったところにですね活用させていただいて先ほどのような多分1兆円にするためには生産性を例えば2倍にしていくと、そういったところにAI をどんどん活用していこうと思っています。はい。
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, thank you, Funyu-san. I think simplifying your systems, unifying your data so that you can actually deploy AI employees to support your regular employees. I think that's a vision that we're excited about and to partner with you. And Shintani-san, you've generative AI is something that you've been sort of excited about and are looking at within your company. And we've talked about this earlier. Can you share how you see this happening?
ですね、我々メルカリの IT 部門が掲げているテーマの一つに、生成 AI をフル活用した次世代型のセルフサービスの実現というのがあります。で旧来型の、昔からあるセルフサービスというのは、IT の業務負荷軽減が優先されて、従業員体験が犠牲にされるということがあったと思っています。生成 AI エージェントを起点としたセルフサービスはこれを大きく変えるものであり、我々 IT 部門としては必ず実現しなければならないものだというふうに考えています。そこに向けてですね、弊社では、従業員のリクエストに応じた、自律的なアクションが可能な、例えば、IT ツールへのアクセス権付与削除ですとかメーリングリストやグループへの追加削除などのアクションを自律的に行えるスラック上で動作する生成 AI エージェントを導入することで IT サポート業務のセルフサービス化を進めていこうとしています。でこのソリューションはメルカリ US で先行して導入しており IT サポートチケットの自動会計通率が 70% に達している状況です。また従業員の満足度も非常に高いと。このように生成 AI エージェントの登場によりIT の業務効率の飛躍的な向上と従業員体験の飛躍的な向上を同時に実現できる世の中になってきているというふうに思いますので、コーポレート IT に携わっている皆さんはぜひこの生成 AI エージェントをフル活用した次世代型セルフサービスの実現にはプライオリティの一つに設定していただけるといいんではないかなと思います。で本日夕方にですね、弊社の田中が、すみません、これは市民開発の方なんですけれども、市民開発の推進に関して、お話しさせていただくことになってますので、この取り組み含めてさらに細かいお話を、聞いていただけるという場合にはぜひそのセッションにも参加いただければというふうに思います。はい。
Yeah. Well, thank you, Shintani-san, and thank you, Funio-san. We're at such an exciting time, in IT, right? It certainly won't be boring the next few years. Thank you for sharing your insights. It's been great discussing this with you, but even more exciting to be partnering with you as we are looking at all this together. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. So that was really exciting. I think we just built like a technology. It's what you all do with it that gives it life, and makes it inspires us to do more. So thank you for sharing that. So before we wrap up, I want to just talk about two things, right? One, briefly. One is, since we started Workato, it's been very important for us, not just what we do, but who we are. And giving back has been important to us. So we're excited to launch. We recently launched this initiative called Workato Cares. And specifically, Workato Cares, we've made three commitments. One is we've contributed 1% of Workato's stock to the mission of Workato Cares, which is to make difference in the communities that we live in. The second is we are committing 1% of our product. So this year, we will be supporting 50 nonprofits globally in their mission with free software and support. So if you work with some really great, deserving nonprofits, please send us those ideas and nominations. We would love to work with some of those organizations in Japan. Number two. The third commitment we've made is committing 1% of our employees' time every year. So it's 2 days per year to give back to the communities and take part in supporting our local communities. So as part of this, there's a couple of things. Recently, our Japan team organized fundraising and activities to support the Noto, the people that needed assistance in the Noto Peninsula after the earthquake. And the second thing is something we are doing this afternoon at 6 o'clock. We're going to be all getting together to put together care kits for 100 families that could use the help. So if you're around and if you're able to join, that'll be great. So I wanted to just mention Workato Cares. We see that not just as a Workato initiative, but it's something that we are looking to do together with you all as well. And finally, I want to finish with sort of where we started. We have some very exciting news for our Japanese customers and partners and the market here. I mentioned earlier that in 2017, we started with our first customer. Our first employee was Hiro. I don't know if he is over there. And our first customer was a company called CDG. And from that foundation, we grew to nearly 100 customers and about 20 partners. And we have 30 employees in this region. So we are here because of your support and your inspiration. Now, I'm very excited to take this next big step forward in the Japan market in terms of team, in terms of our product, and in terms of the Japan data center that we opened recently in partnership with AWS. So to talk about what we are doing with our product to make Workato completely native and in every way, from product and documentation to everything, we've made a deep commitment to make Workato native in Japan from a product standpoint. And I will invite my old friend and colleague, Amlan Debnath, who is the Chief Product Officer of Workato, to talk about our product strategy, including what we are doing to support the Japanese market, our partners and customers here more natively. So thank you, and Amlan, come on board. And, yeah. And I also wanted to introduce Atsuya. Atsuya was our second employee. He joined us like a few years ago. So thank you, Amlan.
Thank you.
Atsuya.